Thank you. I am so excited to be here today. This is actually my first official D&I talk as Uber's Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, and I can't imagine a better venue to be here. It's really exciting because I'm looking out at the audience, and there is a really good mix of men and women. And oftentimes when you have events like this, it's like 90 women and one guy. And so like we have so many men here, and that is just an amazing signal of the progress that we've made, and also, an applause to all of the male allies that are in this room. So I only have about 5 minutes, and I have a lot of important things to share, so I'm not going to pontificate too much, but I am here to share a little bit about Uber's $3 million fund. So last year, we knew that last year was an interesting year, and I think I don't have to rehash any of it. But I think we decided that in order for us to move forward, we really had to find partners that we could work with that will help us, that'll be a guidepost for us as we begin to expand our diversity and inclusion agenda and our initiatives. And so we set up this $3 million fund, but for us, it wasn't enough for us to just kind of like a couple of people to sit in a room and say, we have these $3 million, we want to invest them in places that are making amazing change to diversify the talent flow into the tech sector. We really wanted to make sure our colleagues had, and our employees had a voice in that process. So every organization that we sponsored through our $3 million fund was directly nominated by our employees, and our employees also got a chance to vote on them as well. So as I introduce, both Girls Who Code, Built by Girls, as well as Technovations, know that these are the organizations that our employees wanted to support. These are the organizations that we felt, that our employees felt were adding the most value to our communities. You're gonna get a chance to hear about the amazing work that each one of these three organizations do in their communities and for the world around them. But I want to share a little bit of a story about why it is so important for there to be these organizations that create this incredible pipeline and these opportunities for girls. So I don't have to rehash to any of you the fact that there's tons of data out there that demonstrate that when women thrive, when girls thrive, societies expand and grow. One little piece of data, for every 10% increase in women's representation in an industry and a field, there's a corollary 5% increase in overall salaries. And that's not just for women, that's for men as well. So the more women there are, the higher the salaries move. So all of you male allies, I want you to go back there and say, we need more women in this organization because then our salaries are going to go up as well. Like that's the story. When women and girls thrive, everyone thrives. And for me, it's not simply, a story about how do we get more women into the workforce? How do we get more people of color into the workforce, people with disabilities, LGBTQ, and so forth. It is truly about the innovative power of diversity and inclusion. It is truly about how each of us, when we bring our differences together, can make teams perform better and ultimately allow our organizations to perform better and eventually lead to more stability, more growth in our societies. And again, the issue of women and girls is very personal to me because I am not only a female woman, former girl, but I am actually the mother of two amazing young girls, a 7-year-old and a 10-month-old baby. And I watch these girls and I see how they're influenced by the signals and the symbols that they see in society. And I see how when they pass by the magazines on the racks and they see women all primed up and primed up and flashed up, and I see them learning messages about what's important and what's not important. And I just want to share one little story that's related to our partners and specifically Built by Girls. So Built by Girls, I'd say about 6 months ago, Built by Girls was having some event near our home on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And like my daughter and I were probably walking to the park or just doing some random stuff throughout the day. And we walk by and there's like in this big window, there's this hashtag Built by Girls. And my daughter stops, and, you know, she's very inquisitive. So she stops and she reads it, and she's like, built by girls. And then she turns to me and she goes, Mama, she goes, what's built by girls? And I said to her, everything's built by girls. And she's like, everything? And I'm like, everything. And she's like, well, what about that? And I'm like, that's built by a girl. And she's like, what about that? And I'm like, that's built by a girl. And you just saw her with a little bit more swagger afterwards. She was like, everything is built by a girl, you know? And it was amazing for her to have, and it was just such a moment, right? We were like randomly walking through our life, our daily life. It was not like the significant lesson I was trying to teach her. We're just going to the park. But to have that symbolism, girls who code, you know, built by girls, like seeing these females out there leading, taking risks, you know, living boldly, unapologetically. It gave her swagger. It gave her pride to be a young girl. You know, and it's girl, right? It's not like a woman. It's like empowered her as a 7-year-old girl. And that's the power that Girls Who Code, built by girls, Technovations, it gives to these women. It validates our culture as a woman. And I think that's the true power of these organizations. So I'm not gonna take away from the beauty and the powerful messages these women have. So you're gonna hear from Alyssa Dwyer from Girls Who Code, Tiana Cara from Built by Girls, and Tara, I'm gonna screw up your last name, Chaklowski from Technovation. So I'm just gonna invite, I believe I'm gonna invite Alyssa to come join on the stage and introduce the organization.